Like before, it was like, oh yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, Conor, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Win a fucking fight. Welcome back to MMA Court, everybody. Today we have a case that just came across my desk about who is next for Kamaru Usman. Now you have to say to yourself, obviously it's Leon Edwards. You would think that that would be the case, but after what just happened this past weekend with Belal Muhammad, a lot of people are starting to question, is Leon Edwards next for Kamaru Usman or not? Because we haven't seen the fight announcement. One would think that they would be fighting at International Fight Week in July, just the way the timeline is being set up. I mean, it seems pretty obvious that Leon Edwards would be the next person in line for the title. The guy is on like a 10-fight win streak. He was beating Belal Muhammad in their last match before the infamous eye poke, which ended the main event as a no contest, so no one really won the fight. And obviously, we don't know what would have happened in the rest of that fight. All we know is what we saw, and what we saw was Leon Edwards seemed to have been winning the fight, for as short as it was. But after seeing what Belal Muhammad just did to Vicente Luque in this past weekend, you gotta ask yourself, is Belal next? Is Leon Edwards next? Or the main question, is Khamzat Chimaev next? Well, we need to break this down, and we need to think about who is going to be next for who, and how this is going to work out in the welterweight division, and if Kamaru Usman is even going to fight anyone right now because he just had hand surgery. Looking at the top 10 right now, it's kind of crazy what's going on there in the UFC welterweight division because every guy that's in there is a killer. I mean, it's starting to look just like 155 has been. So when you go through the division, you need to understand that Kamaru Usman worked his way up through the division and hasn't lost to anybody in the UFC yet. It's been a long time since this guy has suffered a defeat. I mean, the only person that it seems has really been able to test him has been Colby Covington, who now is 0-2 against Kamaru Usman. So he can't be the next guy, obviously, because he just lost to him not too long ago, and he's coming off a win over Jorge Masvidal. But after what just happened this past weekend with Belal defeats Vicente Luque, and now he's campaigning for a fight not with Kamaru Usman, but with Colby Covington or Khamzat Chimaev. Meanwhile, Dana White goes on right before the fight between Khamzat and Gilbert Burns and says, whoever wins this fight gets to fight Colby next. Obviously, we saw Khamzat Chimaev win against Gilbert Burns, which was not controversial, by the way. I don't know why people are saying that that was a controversial win. They really need to go back and watch the fight. Burns clearly won round 2, and Khamzat clearly won round 1 and 3. So let's just put that to rest right now. I'm not even gonna make that a case because it's so fucking ridiculous. Khamzat won the fight. Gilbert Burns did not win. He won round 2, and that was it. Now, Gilbert Burns is campaigning for a rematch against Khamzat Chimaev, which I don't see the reason for. I could understand if, because it was a 3-round fight, and towards the end of the fight, like in just say Gilbert Burns was dominating him in round 3, and Khamzat looked so gassed that if it was gonna go another round, that Gilbert probably would have finished him, then I can understand campaigning for a rematch, but that really wasn't even the case. It was a 3-round fight. Gilbert only won round 2. Khamzat won 1 and 3. So he was winning in round 3, and Gilbert now wants to do a 5-round fight with him. I don't see the point of that, and there really is no point for Khamzat in his career to even accept that fight. That's just crazy. You're 11-0 in the welterweight division. You were a hype train, as people were putting it. I don't see the hype train being derailed at all because all this showed is this dude's got a goddamn chin on him. Gilbert Burns put everything he had into that fight trying to knock out Khamzat, and he didn't do it. Gilbert Burns almost knocked out Kamaru Usman when they fought. He didn't do it, but he did wobble him. And Khamzat took the best punches he could from Gilbert Burns and survived. So clearly, we have to move Gilbert out of the title equation for a little bit. He's gonna need a couple of wins to get there. But now you got Khamzat Chimaev, and he has to fight Colby Covington next. As far as Belal Muhammad, after his victory over Vicente Luque, I think that he should fight Gilbert Burns next. I mean, that seems like a clear path to a title shot for Belal Muhammad. Considering that Dana White already said whoever wins this fight between Khamzat and Burns gets to fight Colby, that seems to be what's going to happen next. And I think that's the fight that most people want to see. You want to see two guys with unbelievable wrestling pedigrees go at it. And also, both guys aren't exactly slouches on the feet either. Colby Covington doesn't get enough credit for his stand-up, and Khamzat Chimaev obviously gets credit for everything that he does now. Everyone knows that he's an elite striker and he's an elite wrestler. But although in the fight with Burns, we didn't really get to see much of his wrestling. We don't know if it was because Khamzat wanted to stay on the feet to test himself, or he didn't want to go to the ground with someone like Burns because Burns is a world-class Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Maybe he didn't want a chance losing and getting caught in a weird submission. So if Belal takes on Burns next, clearly Leon Edwards has to be next for Kamaru Usman. I mean, that's what everyone has been saying. I mean, that's what I think should be next. But why hasn't that fight been announced yet? Chael Sonnen talks about this a lot lately, saying, if this is really supposed to happen, why don't we know about it? July is right around the corner. Why hasn't this fight been announced yet? Is it because of the fact that Kamaru Usman had the hand surgery and we don't know if he's going to be ready or not? Or is it because they're trying to delay this so a certain Irishman can just slither his way into a title shot when he doesn't fucking deserve it? Everyone knows who I'm talking about. If Conor McGregor gets in there and gets a title shot against Kamaru Usman right off the bat, it's honestly going to make me sick to my stomach. Obviously, everyone has a puncher's chance, but there is no way that Conor is going to beat Kamaru Usman. Nor does he deserve to fight him at all. He has proved absolutely nothing at welterweight. There is no reason for him to be even getting anyone in the top 5 at 170 pounds, let alone a title shot coming off of multiple losses. He only has one win at welterweight, and it's against a guy who's a 155-pounder in Cowboy Cerrone. I don't know why you would give him a title shot when the fight to make for him, if he's going to do 170, is clearly Masvidal. I mean, I don't even know why that's even a discussion right now, that they're actually contemplating putting this guy in for a title shot when he has not earned it. He hasn't earned a shot at the welterweight title. He hasn't earned a shot at the lightweight title. He hasn't earned a shot at any goddamn title. There's no reason for him to even be in the equation for a title shot at any division at all. He should have to come in, fight one person, at whatever weight class he wants to come back at. If he wins in dominant fashion, then obviously you get the Conor McGregor special treatment if you want a title shot from there. Then I understand it. But for fuck's sake, get a goddamn win. Please, just win a fight. As a fan, we're not asking for much here. We're asking for some form of being fair when you're working your way up through a weight class. And it's just the special treatment that Conor gets really, really aggravates me. I mean, it's been bothering me his entire career, the special treatment he has been getting. But now, this is like, I mean, at least back then when he was getting special treatment, he was winning. I mean, he hasn't won a fight since the Cowboy Cerrone fight, which, by the way, Cowboy was coming off of 2 knockout losses, which were brutal. Over the course of, I think, 6 months, he got knocked out brutally twice in a 6 months time frame, and then fought Conor at 170 and got blasted again. He even said, I didn't show up that night, which we kind of saw that he didn't. It's nothing against Cowboy. The guy is a legend, and he's one of the greatest fighters to ever grace this planet. The fact of the matter is Cowboy is a 155er. That was a lightweight fight with 2 guys who just didn't want to cut weight, and they went at 170. That's what that was. He didn't defeat someone that was in the rankings that warranted him getting a title shot, 4 years down the road now? I mean, this is before all the COVID crap happened. So as far as all this welterweight madness goes, if you want to give Belal someone who is an elite fighter who's right at the top, even though Burns just lost his last fight against Khamzat Chimaev, Belal versus Gilbert Burns sounds like a really fun fight. Anyone that looks at Belal and starts talking shit about him now, it's silly. It's completely ridiculous to actually give that guy shit. He's proven himself. He's an unbelievable fighter. He is so well-rounded, and he doesn't get enough credit for everything that he's been doing. Belal Muhammad is on a 7-fight win streak right now. I mean, his last official loss was against Jeff Neal, when Jeff Neal was really rising to the top. What needs to happen is this. Belal Muhammad has to fight Gilbert Burns next. Khamzat Chimaev has to fight Colby Covington next. By the way, I might add, all of these should be 5-rounders. Gilbert Burns needs to go 5 rounds with Belal. 25 minutes again, because he's looked unbelievable. I want to see Gilbert Burns do 25 minutes. Colby Covington, you can't have that guy fight 3 rounds. I'm sorry, it's stupid. It's got to be 5 rounds. And we got to see Khamzat get tested against Colby Covington for 25 minutes to see if he could actually last. Because if he could last against Colby Covington, we're going to see something serious against him and Kamaru Usman one day. And then Leon Edwards fights Kamaru Usman. Anyone that says Conor McGregor should get the goddamn title shot needs to be smacked in the fucking mouth. I'm so sick of this shit with this guy getting this treatment. It's so ridiculous. It's not even funny anymore. Like before, it was like, oh yeah, it's great. You know, oh yeah, Conor, he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Win a fucking fight, all right? Win a fight and earn it. I'm getting so sick of this shit with Conor. There's no reason for him to be even in the talks fighting anyone in welterweight. There's no reason. Like, oh, he's 190 pounds now and he's jacked or what. Fucking water, dude. It's water and fat. Like, that's what happens when you start lifting weights, you're not doing as much cardio anymore, you're not watching what you eat. He put on weight. He didn't put on a bunch of muscle. Like, anyone who thinks that that's what Conor did is an idiot and they don't know anything about building muscle. That's not what he did. Did he put a little bit of muscle on? Probably a little bit, but majority of that weight is not muscle. Once he starts doing cardio again and starts to bring his weight back down to normal and does conditioning and stuff, he's gonna be right back down to where he was. That's not lasting muscular weight that he put on. It's just not. He's not gonna be able to compete at 170, and anyone who thinks that, again, needs to be backhanded. That is what this court has decided. These are the fights that need to be made. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Fucking tweet at Dana White and let him know. Please don't put Conor in there. It's ridiculous. We know what we want to see as fans, and it is not Conor versus Kamaru Usman. That is it. Case is closed. The judge is out.